Hello, my charmed ones, and welcome back to my channel for another video. Okay, so I did not expect that I'd be making this video today. Not necessarily today, but in general. But if you follow me on Instagram, which if you don't, you should, you know that I recently purchased a new planner. Yes, I purchased a Chanel Desk Agenda. Now, I say that, I didn't expect I was going to be making this video because, as you know, if you were with me in December, hopefully you were, I set up an entire planner for myself, expecting that was going to be my planner for the year. And things changed. And it's not necessarily that things changed, but an opportunity presented itself for me to buy a planner that I had been interested in, but it is not something that is regularly available. If you know anything about like the whole Chanel agenda game, you know that they're not easy to find. And when I was presented with a perfect situation, a perfect storm of a style that I wanted and a price I wanted to pay and a quality that I was looking to attain, it just sort of happened, right? So, sorry, not sorry. I now have, I'm not going to say, should I say my dream planner? I mean, the binder itself, like, is beautiful. It's luxurious. I'm a luxury. I'm wearing the shirt today for this planner. But, I've always had my core setup for the last few years, which has been what I've used day in and day out. So that's the most important part of the planner to me. Is the planner cover being beautiful? Nice? Yeah, it is. But for me, the meat and potatoes of my planner, the thing that's most important is what I'm using inside. And to be bluntly honest with you guys, nothing has really changed since my live planner setup video. But if you are interested in seeing the new beauty, she's here on my desk. I'll withhold her for like a moment, just to add some suspense. But if you're interested in seeing that setup and how I have it set up, kind of like my unicorn dream binder, stay tuned. Okay, so here she is in all of her glory, my new planner for 2020. And to be honest with you guys, because of the nature of this planner and what this binder really is, I am not thinking of this as like my 2020 planner as though, next year it might be different. I really purchased this with the intention that this was going to be something that I would have and use for many, many years. So this is a Chanel Agenda from their Camellia line. And it is in black calfskin smooth leather with silver hardware. And let me go ahead and show you the back of this. You can see that it's just this beautiful black, very supple calfskin. So if you're familiar with Chanel, you know that they have a few different leathers that they tend to use for their accessories and their bags. And so the most common ones that you see, I think, are lambskin, which is the very soft, smooth leather. And then you also often see caviar skin, which is like a pebbled leather that's a little bit tougher, a little bit more long wearing. I have some items from Chanel, as you guys know from maybe following me. And so I have experience with a few different types of leathers, and I actually really like the smooth calfskin. I think that it is a nice mix between, the long wearingness of caviar, but it has the pebbled look and the kind of more gentle, softer leather of the lambskin. Now, if you guys were here with me, I would absolutely have you like feel this and smell it because it really has an incredibly luxurious feel to it. Now, I did purchase this secondhand from a reseller because this is not a planner that you can get anymore. It is something that has been discontinued, at least this style has been. This Camellia range hasn't been around for a while, I don't think. But specifically, this planner cover comes from 2010. So this is a 10-year-old leather binder, but it is in beautiful condition. Like, I think it's in immaculate condition. But each of us will have our own opinions on what we think is like perfect or mint or good or whatnot. But I'm super pleased with this. Okay, so let's go ahead and I'm going to take a sip of my coffee and let's break into this planner. Okay, so when you open this beauty up, this is the layout of the interior. So if you're familiar with a Louis Vuitton Desk Agenda, this is a very similar concept. I think size-wise, this is a little bit more compact, but for my needs, I was actually able to, arrange a system in here that really works for me and is in line with my personal style and my taste and has everything that I need inside of this one binder. So I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a little tour of what I've got in here. I don't have very much. You guys know that I'm not someone who's into a lot of decor or decoration for their planner, but I do love it when a planner has a few little pockets that you can kind of put things in strategically. And I will say that one of the things I'm most excited about when it comes to this planner is the fact that for the first time in a long time, I have created like a theme or a vibe in here. So right now, this planner is like totally my vibe. So I'm going to walk you guys through like what I've got in here and like what makes it my vibe. Obviously, we've got like the most prominent thing here is this cover I have on the planner itself, which is this beautiful like print of a statue of Medusa, which I'm like obsessed with. I love this image. And I absolutely had to put it in the front of my planner. I really wanted it to be like something like a, I don't know, like almost like my own version of like an evil eye. That it's like, this is protected information. This is sacred information about the things that Alexis is manifesting and bringing into fruition for her life for the year. So I absolutely had to put her front and center because I just think she's so beautiful and she's such a vibe. Now, let me go ahead and walk you through like these little pockets. What I like about this agenda is that there really is not too many pockets. I know a lot of planners have a lot of the small card slot pockets, which some people find helpful. I particularly don't. I like these sorts of like bigger pockets where I can kind of just like put bigger things in and things like that. So back here behind what we'll call the secretarial pocket, all I have right here is just a piece of craft paper that is in this beautiful, like, what is that? Would you call that like a Dalmatian print? I don't have anything in this front slip here. There is like a full length front slip pocket here, but I don't have anything in there. And then here in this little main pocket, which is like a little, what do they call this? I think they might call this like a passport pocket. I've decided to kind of like pretty it up with a few functional things and then like a few just like pretty things. So just the functional things that you guys should already be familiar with. I have a set of my plain white Post-it sticky notes that you guys can find over at Staples. I love now that Staples does like the packs, the multi-packs of just one color. So yeah, I have some white Post-its. I also have my Post-its from, these were a purchase a long time ago at Walmart. They look like an iPhone. I absolutely love them. I just think they're so cute. I just like to have a few little sticky note options because sometimes I don't want to put something in my planner. I just want to write a note either to myself or something that I'm going to like kind of tentatively plan in my planner. So I like to have a few sticky notes. Now, behind these, you can see that I have just like a little quote card that I printed out. And this is a quote that I found on Pinterest that I absolutely love. And it just like totally resonates with me. And it, in a way, I feel like it's almost like the theme of this planner. It says, "The ghosts of all the women you used to be are all so proud of who you have become. Storm child maid of wild and flame." And that's attributed to Nikita Gill. So I just love this. I just love the color of the background and I love this quote and it's just like totally me. Then one more thing I have in here that you're actually going to see like another version of it. I've just been playing around with some of my designs. I created this little graphic that says Workday Essentials on it and it just has like some of my favorite like icons and things from like my collection of vector graphics that I use as like illustrations in my work. So I just kind of printed this out to kind of be like a little layering piece. But I don't know, does it look better without it? I'm not sure. I think I like it in there for now. I'm just trying to like seriously create a vibe for myself for 2020 with this planner. And this is what I came up with. I like it very simple, just a little bit of layering, just like, I don't know. I think it's totally me. Okay. So next, let's move on to the actual planner itself. Like I said, I have this beautiful Medusa print on the front cover. And I guess it's, you know, you guys can tell at this point, I am using a disc bound system. These are my ARC discs for the actual planner itself. So these are just the plain black discs that I think are like a 3/4 inch. I will say because this planner is, like I said, it's a little bit smaller than what I think the agenda, the Louis Vuitton agenda is. It is a little bit tighter, so you have to use like smaller-ish rings, but that's fine with me because I was actually able to fit like half of the year's inserts in here for what I use. One more thing I wanted to kind of point out here, and I guess I should just do this right now, just so people can see, because I want to show people the planner too if you're interested in like searching for one of these. So I have the planner bound together in disc bound, and I have like one of the hard plastic backings that I've actually just cut down. I don't know if you guys can tell. I had to cut this down because the ARC plastic like notebook covers that are for disc bound, they don't actually fit in here. They're like a little bit too big, but if you cut them down, they fit perfectly and just slide into this back pocket here. But the notebook cover itself comes with this metal rod that is where you're supposed to take like a spiral or a coil bound notebook and kind of just clip it in. So I'm not really using this. I'm just kind of leaving it here. I have really nothing to do with it right now. So I just leave it. It has no, it's not causing me any problems. So I'm just leaving it and just not using it, and then I can slide my disc bound planner in here. Okay. So that is, I guess, all we need to say about the Chanel planner in and of itself. I think we've covered like all of the basics. Now I'm going to walk you through my planner setup inside. Now, spoiler alert, if you were with me for my live planner setup that I did in December, nothing has changed inside, except the fact that I had to like do a whole new set of inserts because the planner that I had initially thought I was going to be using for 2020 was a 6-ring bound. And once I found this and once I decided to purchase it, that obviously changed my situation a bit, had to kind of create an entirely new setup in here, but it really is identical. So I just want to walk it through it really quickly. You guys know this is my Charmed Life Master Planner inserts in here. So here, I want to show you guys, you can see the back of this. I actually took more of this paper and just pasted it to the back. I just thought it was pretty, just like not to have just plain white on the back. Remember that little Workday Essentials graphic I just showed you? Here it is again in like a bigger size. I've just been messing around with this, but I just wanted to let you guys know that I do have a free download of this if you're interested. I have gone ahead and actually like adjusted this for you guys to use and I'm sharing it. There'll be a link down below where you guys can grab it. And it comes in personal size, half letter, and I also have a graphic that you can use for your smartphone wallpaper. So this is just again like another little pre-dashboard, but I wanted to share it with you guys because I thought you guys might find it pretty and interesting as well. This is the Master Planner for 2020, and this is in the half letter size. So here I just have like my, ownership plate here, and obviously I've covered up my phone number for obvious reasons. Then you go into the first few pages of this planner are just like worksheets for helping you like set out your priorities and goals for the year, just something simple to help you get into the style of planning that you're going to be in with the Master Planner, which of course is functional planning. Then we get to, here is the calendar for 2020. And I guess right now I should start pointing out that like with all of the planner setups that I do, I am using my printable planner tabs, which is a set of tabs that you can get for this planner if you're interested, but it's basically just all of the sections of my planner and I print them out on stickers, cut them out, and then I'm able to actually create these tabs so I don't have to use like actual inserts that oftentimes take up a lot of room for your prime real estate in your planner. So I wanted to point that out for you guys. So here's the 2020 planner. It's like calendar. It's like little monthlies for the year. Then we get to the yearly tracker. This is a year on 2 pages, we'll say here, where you have all of the months laid out. And then you have all the days of the month listed and then all of the days of the week up at top. And then I have the weekends are grayed out. But I use this as an astrological planner. If you guys have seen any of my other videos, you know that I like to track some different astrological transits. So that's the information that I have in here. Next is my yearly overview, which is actually a year on 4 pages. And this is where I will be putting my editorial calendar this year. In years past, I've done my editorial calendar in my monthlies, like my month on 2 pages. But I think it's just better for me to do my editorial calendar here so that I can just kind of put which days are going to get blog posts and just kind of like mark off what post it's going to be. This will help me with my marketing for my business a lot better, I think, if I see my marketing and my content like in one place. So I actually haven't started filling this out yet because we're only in the 2nd week of January and I just got back into posting content regularly, but I do have, blog posts planned out for the rest of this month. And what I probably want to do, I always say this, but I don't always execute on it as, seamlessly as I'd like. I would love to be able to just have a quarter at a time planned out for my content. in some respects, I think that it's great for me to have that sort of planning long term, which is why I love having something like this that gives me the ability to do like future planning for my year. But then realistically, because my interests change or, based on recommendations from what you guys in my community want, sometimes I end up changing my content. So maybe I'll just write in pencil when it comes to this, because that seems to be the safest bet for me, because things do change. So yeah, there's nothing in here now, but soon there shall be. Okay, now we get to my January monthly calendar here. So the month on 2 pages calendar. Nothing new for any of you who've seen the master planner. It's just a nice, big, beautiful monthly planning spread where I do like to, lay out for the month my top 3 like priorities that I'm working on. And yeah, I just have some symbols in terms of stickers that I use to help me like keep track of different things. Most notably, I have my full moon and new moon stickers here. I also mark off days that are important in terms of like, I know, see, this is the thing, I know what these icons mean. So like this heart on the 1st means that the dogs, my 2 dogs, Starbuck and Sultan, they're flea and tick and heartworm. I have to give to them on the 1st of the month. This icon over here on this Sunday is for a regular thing that I do, which is I do Olaplex on my hair, and I also give my dogs a bath. Like whatever weekend that is that I do my Olaplex, I also give the dogs a bath. It's like my part of my routine. And then the other little stickers have to do with bill pay, and I even have a little sticker here for one of my friends' birthday on the 25th. So that's really how I use this monthly. Like I said, I used to use it as my editorial calendar, but because I would change things so often, it would annoy me that like I would be crossing things off and like moving them. So I think it's better for me to just use my editorial calendar on that yearly overview. Something else to point out here, which I always get questions about, is that this column right here, it says this week, has check boxes that the way I use this is I will put the top 3 priority items for each week in the actual row that belongs to that week. So right now I'm filming this and it's Friday the 10th. And these were the things that I needed to accomplish for this week, like the 3 most important things. So I haven't actually done any future planning. I really do need to go through this, but I just got this planner and totally redid my setup. So I'm still catching up with moving information over. Most of my information has been moved over before I filmed this. But yeah, that is how I use that. So when it comes to my planning on this Sunday, I will look at my to-do list. I will think about my work, and I will write the 3 most important things for me to do on that week so that I have them kind of listed out somewhere where I know like, okay, this is what I need to do. This is what's important. So that is how I use my monthly layout. Then the next spread is my monthly tasks and my monthly tracker. So my monthly tasks is where I will literally list out all the things that I need to do. Usually these are things that are related to project plans that I have, and I'll show you guys those in a second. But these are all the things that are due for this month or that I want to get done for this month. So this will be a mix of personal and business and just life things, so and organization things. So like usually the number one thing on my list to do is to do a brain dump. That's something I like to do at the start of the month when I'm doing my planning. And so I haven't actually done one yet because I moved into this planner. So I may, in the coming days do a brain dump, maybe on Sunday when I do my weekly planning. But I also have things on here like I have to get my car inspected. I list out the blog posts that I want to write and the video ideas that I have for myself. So this is how I use this in monthly task section. And usually it has a little bit more of things to do, but I'm trying to easing myself into the new year here. So I only have like half of a page. Now, this is my monthly tracker. This is the one for my current month that's in progress. So I'm not going to be able to show it to you. So I've blocked it off. But what I will do is I will go ahead and I will show you a monthly tracker, how I use it, how it's plain, what it looks like plain. Okay. This is what the tracker looks like plain. I get a lot of questions about this. But I use mine specifically as a money manifestation tracker. And I've talked about this in a previous video. Essentially, I like to write down all the money that I've earned each day. And that's what you're seeing here covered up, right? Is that I will put the day of the week and like the date, and then I will put how much money I earned that day. And then I have check boxes that are listed out for different like business activities so that I can go ahead and look through this and kind of see the patterns between like my best earning days and maybe days that I put out content or blog posts or video or something like that. And this is a great tracker. This is the new design for my tracker that I love because you can use it in so many different ways. You could use it like a money tracker, right? You could use it as an expense tracker by putting in like the expenses that you have, like the name of them and maybe the amount of money. You could just write it out and you could check off when you've had them paid, etc. Or you can use this to track individual tasks. Like let's say that you just, want to have an additional task list, something similar to this. You could list things out, or you can go ahead if they're like reoccurring tasks, right? This is what I love this for too. It's like, let's say you've got a reoccurring task that happens, multiple days a week. There's enough columns here on this side for each day of the week. There's 7 columns. So you could head this off like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and check off every day that you did a habit for a week. And what you could do is just take up 4 weeks for a month or 5 weeks for a month, whatever there is. But I love this system because you can just use it so many different ways. And yeah, I personally use it as a manifestation tracker, but to each their own, right? So let's go back to my planner. This is like a little bit of, I guess, like an inside my planner for the first week of January too, I guess. So this is my week on 2 pages, what I call my weekly plan. And you can see here that I can show you like a blank week too, just so you can get an idea that, the week on 2 pages has a top 3 tasks every day. The weekdays have a line section that you can use for additional tasks, notes, or if you wanted to, you could create a daily schedule for yourself. And then at the bottom, there's these open blank boxes that are for like either evening plans or what I tend to use them for is like plans that are overarching for the entire week. So one of the principles that I use in my planning is a top 5, which is the top 5 things I want to work on this week. And so I just list mine down here now so that it's just organized out. But you can see here, the day I'm filming this, down here I have, this note to take a lush bath because it's a full moon and I like to take a bath on a full moon. So yeah, so you can see this is how I, use my planner. This is very light week for me. So I usually do tend to just focus on my top 3 tasks. And then sometimes I need to break additional things out so that I stay on track. A lot of days I might just like write a little note. Like this is the day that the planner actually arrived. So I basically ended up spending my entire day setting this planner up and like playing with it and stuff like that. And yeah, I just will write in like reoccurring tasks that I have. Like one of the things that I'm trying to stick to is using my High Vibe Bible. So journaling every day. I did do that already today. So I can go ahead and check that out. Like we're filming this video right now. I mean, I'm not done yet, but I started filming and that's all that matters is I've started. Anywho, yeah, so this gives you an idea of what these weeks look like. This is what how my weekly is set up. And I did make sure to transfer all of my stickers, my astrological stickers. This is a sticker set I have because I'm someone who does like to track like astrological transits. If you're interested, I'll leave a link for that down below as well. But here's like more or less a blank month, before the month begins. I mean, I've put in a few stickers, but this is what this looks like. Blank tasks, tracker, and a week. So let's go ahead and move over to the second section in this planner. So all of these inserts, just to be clear, are inserts that you get within the Charmed Life Master Planner, and it has this flow of monthly, weekly, monthly, weekly, monthly, weekly, and then the additional organization sections. So this is the important projects section. So this is where I do all of my project planning. And I have no problem showing you guys this right now because there really isn't anything on here that's like too major. I have listed out all of my projects that I have so far, but I didn't break anything into, immense detail. So this is my yearly tracker for all of my projects. So essentially, when I set my goals at the beginning of the year, my goals get broken down into projects, and then my projects get turned into project plans. And in order to make sure I have time for everything that I want to get done in my year, I take each project and I assign it to a month of the year, a quarter of the year, or like a longer term half of the year, which means that like I just want to get this done within this amount of time, right? That's all I want to do. So this is how I have it broke out right now. And I did, I'm learning from previous years and I just used a pencil because again, this is a place where things do tend to change a little bit. So it gets annoying for me when I, have to like cross things out in pen. So I've just, done it in a pencil. No big deal. That's the way I want to do it. The next thing I think I'll show you guys is just this like overview project plan for one of my goals. So in my previous video of my 2020 goals, I told you that I'm just setting 2 big goals for myself this year. And one of them was just to hit a specific income goal for my business. So essentially I've put together the bare bones of a project plan, and this is what it would look like for me. So project, Charmed Media Enterprises. That's the name of my business. Description, run a business from home that earns a full-time income. For the purposes of this video, I made sure I didn't have the actual income in there. Due date, 12/31/2020, because I want this done this year, right? I want to make this certain amount of money this year. So what I do here is then I list it out as tasks for myself. These are actually going to end up being, if you noticed, projects, right, that I will execute on. But I like to have them all organized in one place. Like this is basically my brain dump of all the projects that I am thinking about or want to accomplish in this year, right? So doing my videos weekly, blog posts weekly. There's a productivity book that I've been trying very hard to get myself to focus on. I need to update an email welcome sequence and my infinity funnel for my emails. I have productivity opt-ins and business opt-ins and live monthly workshops that I want to do. There's all these things that I want to do for my business, and this is like the overview page for everything. Then what happens is I take each of these and turn it into their own project, right? So because YouTube videos was the first one, I put them kind of in their order so that it would make logical sense to me. So this is the page where I'm going to list all my YouTube video ideas. So this will help me keep everything organized. So I haven't actually started filling it in yet, but I do have like a whole like list on my computer of like video ideas. So I will start filling this in, ASAP. But yeah, each project, right, becomes its own project page where I break down all of the tasks and the resources and take any additional notes. So you guys have seen other examples of project plans if you've seen my videos in the past. If not, I definitely recommend checking it out. I do have a few project planning videos on my channel if you're interested. So I went ahead and for the sake of this planner and trying to keep it minimal, I don't know if you guys noticed, I didn't actually mention this before, I have 6 months of inserts here. And then the master planner, comes default, in this design with 20 inserts that are pre-loaded in. I'm not 20, I'm sorry, 40 inserts. And I've just put in half that amount so that half the year, right? So I think I have like 16 or 18 projects or something like that on this list. So I am using like most of these inserts right now, but I have a few extra in case anything additional pops up as of right now. And obviously I can always add things in later as well. Now, third section of this planner, brilliant ideas. So this is really the section of the planner that personally is one of my favorite things about this planner because it's something that sets this planner apart from every other planner and inserts that I've ever really been able to see. And this is all about the pre-planning aspects of the planning process. So many planners out there are just the monthly and the weekly, right? Where how many of you guys have gone and like bought a planner and it was just the month and it was just the week, right? And it was just very bare bones things that are for the actual scheduling of your to-dos, but nothing really for the overall planning, right? Where you're going to sketch out your ideas. And that's what the brilliant ideas section is all about. The way this planner is actually organized, it actually is kind of in reverse order. The back is where you will do like your initial ideas for planning. The central section is the project planning, which is like the meat and potatoes of what your plans are, like keeping track of all of the items that you want to work on. And then the front, the calendar portion is where you just take that information, all that work you already did, and move it into actual places to get done, right? So in a way, the process is reversed in this planner, but the most important thing is that you have what you're acting on in the front, right? So I hope it makes logical sense to people. So within the brilliant ideas section, the first part of the section is the brain dump section. So this is something that I do on a monthly basis, but I've heard of other people who like to do this every day or every week. Do what works for you. If you're not familiar, a brain dump is when you literally just sit down and write down all of the things that you're thinking about in your head that you haven't written down. One of the problems with being a human is that we think that we can remember things, and oftentimes we forget about it or it overwhelms our brain to be holding on to so much information. So I do a brain dump regularly, and I just list things out, right? And you could use this as a raw to-do list as well, right? But what I do as well with this is I will brain dump all the things I'm thinking about, and then I will organize it in a prioritization matrix. This is called the Eisenhower matrix. That's what it's called. I learned about it from Stephen Covey's book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And it's essentially a matrix with 4 quadrants. The top 2 columns are important or not important, and then the rows are urgent and not urgent. What you're intended to do here is take all of the items that you wrote down on your brain dump and decide one by one, is it important and urgent? Is it not important and urgent? Is it important and not urgent? Is it not important and not urgent? And the idea is that anything that you write down that is important, like it's important to get done and it's urgent, right? So it needs to be done soon, is something that you're going to want to do as soon as possible, right? So that's something you want to do it right now. If something is important but not urgent, right? It's something that you might want to plan to do later. If something is urgent but not important, this might be something that you want to delegate to someone else, right? Because it's maybe something that's due right now, but if it's not important to you, then someone else should be responsible for it, right? So this is one of those sections where you defer it or delegate it, right, to someone else, right? And then the last section is not urgent and not important. And anything that goes in here, you might just want to think, okay, this might be for a someday maybe list, but it's not necessarily something I need to worry about right now. And sometimes it's just good to have those, those tasks listed out for yourself, but you don't have to feel pressure to get anything done, right? So that helps you to organize your tasks when you have a big, long to-do list into very manageable, actionable steps, right? So I've got a bunch of these brain dumps in here for myself. And then we move on to the second little subsection in here, which are the brainstorm and plan and prep sheets. So this is essentially my brainstorming matrix that I use. So what I will do here is, let's say I've got like a problem or something I'm trying to plan out. I list that what I'm working on or what I'm trying to plan out up top. And then I use these little square boxes, right, to organize different categories of information or kind of create a mind map, right? And from what information comes out here, I can then list out some tasks that come to mind and some notes. And this becomes the basis of a project plan for me in some cases, if it's a big project. And if not, it might just be a little mini project that I kind of just leave back here and just have for reference, right? And so this actually, I made a mistake when I was filling this in. I didn't mean to leave a blank page first. I was actually doing my business plan and I skipped a page. But this is my Q1 business plan. And you guys have seen me create this before. So you guys see that this is one of the ways that I use this matrix is I will take the month of the year, break out 3 months at a time for a quarter. And I use a column for, not a column, this is a row for products, a row for my content, and a row for marketing things or opt-ins that I'm working on. So this is just for me to have like a really quick reference of like what I'm focused on. By no means is this like an in-depth marketing plan, but it helps me to kind of create the skeleton or the basis for all the things I'm going to be working on within a month, within a quarter. The final section of the planner is take note, right? So this is just, I'll show you a blank, fully blank. So this is just plain note paper, right? So plain note paper in the back. And for me right now, I just started listing out like something that I do for manifesting. I'm going to do a whole video about this is I like to write out the questions that I'm looking for solutions for and hope that the universe brings me the answers in a timely manner so I can figure things out. But yeah, everybody needs to be able to take notes in their planner to have an extra spot to just like do extra processing. And that's what the notes are for. One thing I actually do not have in here is the final part of the master planner, which are the index pages. I actually did not, although you can see the index thing here, I'm not actually using this as a real index. Let me pull out another planner to show you. Here we go. Let me show you guys what the index pages look like if you're interested. This is the printed and bound master planner if you're interested, but these are, it also comes in print on demand inserts. So here is the index. For those of you who haven't seen it, this is just a place where you can go ahead and list out like content and what pages they're on for quick reference. Now, I've just found that for myself, I don't really tend to use that. So I actually just skipped putting any indexing sheets in here. And then what I ended up adding in the back of this, again, this is all familiar to you if you saw the 2020 live. I have gone ahead and taken my inserts from my High Vibe Bible, my journal, and I've put them in the back here. Now, you might actually notice here that this first set of inserts has been double punched because these were the ones that came right out of my Kiki K planner, the 6-ring planner, but I didn't want to like lose, you know, the first week of journaling. So I put it back in here, and I'll go ahead and show you guys what this index is actually marking is like the next new month. So this is like fresh inserts that haven't been bound. But this is what the High Vibe Bible looks like. I just had the binding removed on this so that I could put it in here. But this is like the weekly overview page where, you know, once a week, you'll set your mantra for the week, what you're manifesting, how the manifestation makes you feel, how you're raising your vibration, signs and synchronicities. And then there's like this little habit tracker here for what you're executing on. And then every day of the week, you've got one page to list your gratitude and how you're aligning your thoughts and actions for manifestation. And then at the end of the week, you have a little review page so you can list what you manifested, the high point of your week, and what you learned. So this is, I just have like about a month of inserts for my High Vibe Bible, just so I can journal like every day in here. I like the idea of keeping everything together. So yeah, that's the end of the planner here. And like I said, this is just a disc bound that's been slid in here. You know, one other thing I do want to show you guys about how awesome this planner is, this Chanel cover is. I am obsessed with this right now because I can actually stick my master planner bound in here too. So it really is pretty awesome, which is why I think that it's definitely going to be something that I will be using and relying on for a while. Let me just scooch him in. Just got to walk him in a little bit with that cover. I don't know if this is deep enough in yet for me to close it. There we go. Okay, so master planner, cover. Right? So this is pretty awesome. There are not a lot of planner covers out there that will hold the master planner. So I'm really impressed by this little Chanel guy. Okay, so that is my new Chanel agenda and the setup. Oh, one other thing I wanted to mention. The one thing this planner does not have, and I honestly don't really mind that it doesn't have it doesn't have a pen loop, which is fine for me. But I did want to show you guys the pen that I'm using. You guys have probably seen this before. This is the Black U Brands. It's like a matte black that I bought at Target. And I'm also using this Artist Loft watercolor dual tip marker in the color Peony. If you guys have seen, like that's the highlighter that I'm using here in my weekly, if you see. Well, it's in other places too, but this is like this pretty sort of like flesh nude color that I'm using. So yeah, these you can get at Michael's Arts and Crafts store, right? Probably at AC Moore too. But I bought mine at Michael's, and they have like a ton of colors, but I liked this pretty like beige color. I also have turquoise. I have a whole bunch of colors of these, but I really like these, and they do really well as a highlighter in your planner if you're interested, because they don't really ghost too much in the back. You can see them a little bit, but they don't really bleed. So they ghost a little bit, but they don't bleed. I'm sorry if I got that terminology wrong. I'm not a pen person usually. So I think ghosting is when you can still see it behind another sheet, and bleeding is when it actually bleeds through. So it ghosts a little bit, but I don't think it bleeds too much. So that's the highlighter that I'm using for now here in my planner. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this little walkthrough. Okay, so that is a look at my 2020 planner, my beautiful new Chanel binder. I hope that this video, I know it's going to be a little bit longer, I hope that it's been helpful for anybody who might be interested in or curious about the Chanel planners. I'm by no means an expert, but as someone who's been in the planner community and has been someone who's been looking at these planners and following them, you know, on and off over the last few years, you know, I did pick up a few tricks and things like that and tips that I wanted to share with you guys. They're not the easiest thing in the world to find, but I would recommend if you are interested in kind of doing your research, seeing what the options are that are available, because there are a few different styles, and kind of making a decision about like which options you'd be interested in if they became available on like a resale website. So yeah, hopefully that, you know, answers all of your general questions, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Do not forget to grab yourself that free download of the Workday Essentials graphic and those dashboards, because I would love to share those with you guys, and I know you guys enjoy my designs. I am hoping this year to be able to release like a whole new set of kind of cool freebies for you guys. I know that in years past, I've done a lot of the same things, the dashboards and the monthly to-do lists. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do with those moving forward, but I feel like we need to do something new. It's been a few years of those, and I want to create something new and exciting. So stay tuned for more of that. Leave me a comment down in the description. Let me know what planner you're using. Let me know what you think of this planner. I know there's going to be some of you in the community that have been waiting for the moment that I like step my foot into the luxury planner market, and here it is. That's it. Okay, I don't think I'm going to be doing it again. This is it for me. Okay, so let me know how you feel about that. If you guys have one of these planners or another one of the Chanel planners and have any insight for other people on how to get them or whatnot, please leave that down below as well. Make sure to give the video a thumbs up. Make sure you're following me on Instagram at Miss Trenchcoat. And if you're not yet subscribed to this channel, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button for more awesome videos by me. And until next time, bye-bye.